Honestly, I wish I could use that eraser Kemi just to erase this past week, especially this episode, because if one thing has been obscenely true, it's the fact that anytime I say a cool way to continue the season where we left off, they're gonna look for a way to make a worse continuation. Like if I make this good suggestion, they're like, "Yeah, what's something that we could do that's worse than that?" It's been a pattern here, like all season, and this episode is no exception. It's like my patience for this episode is just running thin. Welcome, everyone, to the Rider Time podcast here on the Morphin Network. I'm Mike, your host, and we are here to discuss Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 43, Love, Sorrow, and AI, the power to erase hate. And yes, love is I, sorrow is I, and AI is I. Like, honestly, like I think that pun just worked better in Kamen Rider Zero One than it did here. But it's Gotchard. They're good. They're just gonna take good stuff from other seasons and make it worse. I don't know why. I know there's only like 7 or so episodes left, so here's just power through these next 2 months. Just power through these next 2 months. We got July, August, and then finally we're at Kamen Rider Gavu. So let's just get right into this episode. As we all know, in comedy, we have rule of 3. So what's worse than having Rene freeze herself accidentally and then Renge freeze herself accidentally? Why not have Minato freeze himself accidentally as well? And I notice he too is holding that test tube while it's bubbling with his bare hand. Didn't I not talk about lab safety just last week? Like, honestly, these 3 deserve to be frozen because I'm not even gonna talk about wearing safety glasses, because you should be wearing lab safety glasses as well, because but how do you not wear gloves? Why are you not using a clamp to hold the test tube at a safe distance? You'd think at a high school you would learn the most basic lab safety. I'm perfectly clear, even when I was in the 6th grade, we had to rigorously watch lab safety videos for the 1970s and then take tests on them. And we had to pass those tests just to be allowed to do even the most basic labs. We're talking let's make a cross-section of a gummy worm and then draw the cross-section. It is a mundane, very safe lab experiment, and even that you would not be allowed to do unless you pass a lab safety test. And yet here, it's just giving me a headache. It's like watching a Gordon Ramsay video where you have imagine having a Michelin chef just putting cooked meat next to raw meat. They're cross-contaminating. It's how did you get a Michelin star if you can't do basic food handling? Same here. It's why are you breaking these lab safety rules? These 3 deserve to stay frozen. And what's really weird is, I'm going to jump way to the end of the episode. Ironically, those 3 get rescued by using the eraser Kemi. I forgot his name. It's really, this is how okay, why didn't Renge or Minato think of that? I mean, we cannot assume that Sabimaru took the eraser Kemi with him. They at least showed the eraser Kemi beforehand, that he took it with him to the laboratory. Okay, I can understand that. I can totally understand that. But suspension of disbelief. Why did they just do that from the Jump Street? Or maybe use one of the other gimmies to, like, that could have had a similar effect. Like, maybe use the Time Lord Kemi to go back in time to stop themselves from making those lab safety accidents. And also, what's really dumb is that Minato did it while sneezing, of all things. Okay, let's go to the main plot. Okay, so we're back at the lab, and like we find out, oh, Greyon used to work at this laboratory. Yeah, but we don't like him because he used the Kemi for evil. But like we still let him use the. I'm like, what? Like, this doesn't make any sense. But like, Sabimaru addresses his grievances about his brother, and of course, Hotaru being Hotaru is like, you should talk it out with your brother. And of course, when he does talk it out, it's like, I plagiarized you, dude. Like, why are you even like trying to be friends with me? But you didn't plagiarize me. I let you use my work. So we plagiarized together. No, I single-handedly plagiarized. And then it's like, all of a sudden, Sabimaru's like, yes, you're plagiarist. You take credit. Of course, that's just Greyon just messing with his brain. But the thing is, it's like, this could have been a good opportunity to turn Sabimaru back into Dread. And again, the fact that they brought Dread back, like, we had this opportunity to help Sabimaru bring his character into full circle, maybe be less reliable on Isaac, maybe he learns to embrace his past mistakes and embrace Dread and become Dread as the good guy. No, that's see, like, that's too good of an idea. So let's do the worst possible thing. Let's just turn Sabimaru's brother into Kamidon Amalgam, and then just take one of the Isaac tablets, because it turns out that's what Greyon wanted the whole time, and then turn the tablet into a Dread driver to become a puppet version of Dread. So just like with Riot Trooper and Kurokage, you demoted a very well-designed Kamen Rider into a mindless trooper. That was sarcasm. I don't expect you to get it, but that was sarcasm. Yes, there's an earlier scene where Greyon does confront Spanner. It's like, hey, check this out. I have Jermaine's ability to create golems. Not that it matters, but of course, you know, we have a 2v2 fight where Sabimaru has unmorphed single-handedly has to fight off a Dread Trooper, while a Dread Trooper, and while Hotaru has to fight against the Kamidon Amalgam. And you'd think maybe do it the other way around, because that way Sabimaru has to fight his own brother. But yeah, no, it's like, we do know that, Sabimaru came up with the idea for the turtle part. His brother came up with the cannon part, and somehow they somehow Sabimaru accidentally created the Kemi by, like, combining a bunch of chemicals on top of a drawing. I don't think that's how alchemy works, by the way. But no, it's like they're having this loud conversation while they're on opposite sides of a battlefield. It's like, see, if Sabimaru was fighting against Kamedon, okay, I can see that conversation working, because they're having a direct confrontation. They're talking things out through their swords. I get that, but here's the thing: you have Sabimaru's brother doing Kirk Poo on Rainbow Gotchard, while Sabimaru is like fending off against Dread Trooper. It's like, you sure? I could hear you from all the way across this forest. You know, like one of the few really good jokes from the Shazam movie. But anyways, so what ends up happening is, it's like, Hotaru uses that xylophone footwork in order to defeat Kamedon, and then he perfectly manages to catch the card. But of course, this does involve them realizing, oh no, Sabimaru didn't create the Kemi; they made the Kemi together by the power of brotherly love. family. And of course, and then he uses the Kamidon card on the Excalibur in order to be able to slice through Dread. And it's like, it looks like he's having this victorious moment. It's like, yes, I did it. But the thing is, it's like, it just felt so empty because I know that Sabimaru had way more baggage involving Dread that it just felt like a little unearned. It's like, yes, this is how he should act while fighting Dread. Or rather defeating Dread. I just wish that the actual fight itself would have been a little bit better. Or heck, if he turned into Dread and defeated Kamedon and then demorphed and then did that episode, I was like, yes, I did it. That would have been so well done. I would have thrown so many roses at Sabimaru's actor. But no, it just felt a little unearned. Because because the big issue is they turned Dread into a trooper. I'm not going to get over this. They turned Dread into a trooper. I don't care about Riot Trooper being a trooper. I don't care about Kurokage being a trooper. Although it does seem a little wasted, but it's like, we need 7 riders. We're just going to replace Kurokage with Knuckle. Okay, whatever. Fine. He had a great Visa next, so like I actually have it on Blu-ray. But this Dread was an amazing design for a Kamen Rider. And on top of that, Sabimaru had so much baggage with this thing. He even heard Renge using it. It could have been perfect. And yet, you went with the lowest common denominator of an ending for that. Oh, also, the facility was on fire, so like I just want to draw attention to Kamen Rider Agito the Movie Project G4, like I did last week. Spanner has to save the obnoxious little girl, and of course he saves her thanks to the power of her Isaac. So even though the professor heard Grayon whisper something into her ear, we don't find out what it is, by the way. And I'm curious if they're even going to bring it up ever again, because while Chekhov's gun, they should. I have my doubts. They'll even bring it up again, because every time when I set expectations, no matter how low they are, they just squander those expectations. So yeah, they defeat the monster. We go back to the lab. We already discussed about how they unfroze the rest of the crew. Meanwhile, Grayon finds a new throne that Atropos made for him. He hugs her out. It's like, oh, my sweet precious daughter, my one and only daughter, the one that I only care about and no one else. Cloth, though, should switch sides after hearing that. But of course, he shows how he just creates this massive cluster of a bunch of separate Dread drivers. So I'm like, he's going to make an army of these. He's going to make an army. And it's not going to be fun. That's where the episode ends. And yes, we finally see Kamedon's proper card. It's a level 0. Oh my god, I called it. There was a level 0 card. It wasn't the Philosopher's Stone, but there was a level 0 card. And yeah, that's where the episode ends. In the next episode, Kajiki will get his memories back. Hopefully, this will have some long-term consequences. Thoughts on the episode? Honestly, I did not care for it that much. It's, yeah, there was some choreography. Honestly, choreography-wise, the only part I cared about was Sabimaru making that beautiful power slide when he defeats Dread Trooper. Can't even call him Kamen Rider Dread. I have to call him Dread Trooper now. And that hurts me on the inside. And yeah, that's it. Special effects, nothing to write home about. Even that whole xylophone thing that I praised in the first episode that Rainbow Gotchard appeared in. Yeah, it's there, but you're not using it to the full effect that it was used in that one episode. And again, I don't see it being used all the time. Like, that's it's like, why are you going to introduce a gimmick if you're not going to be consistent with the gimmick? Let's see. Nothing to talk about this little girl, the professor. Yeah, like hopefully, she's going to reveal what Grayon told her. I'm not going to hold my breath over it. Sabimaru had almost no character development in this episode, even though he should have. It just felt like he did not change as a person in the slice. Again, if he at least felt like he no longer needed Isaac, that would have made sense. Or if he became Dread one more time and embraced the fact that he was Dread, learned from his flaws, became a stronger person, have Renge acknowledge it properly, I would have liked that. But we didn't get that. And most she's like, hey, Sabimaru, you look different. And then Isaac's like, yeah, well, you're still a kid. She's like, yeah, this episode, it's a 7 for me. I legit wanted it to be better. And I don't mean it's Kamen Rider, it's my favorite show. I want every episode to be better. No. I mean, this episode in particular, I needed this episode to be better. And it wasn't. It was a disappointment to me. And just like this season as a whole is, I'd rather rewatch Revice than rewatch Gotchard. Like, that is how annoyed I am with this season. And again, it's like, I just can't wait for it to end. There's 7 episodes left, give or take. And I'm not feeling that build up towards the end game. Yeah, we introduced these other 2 death gods. One of them was defeated, okay. But then we brought Grayon back, so it just feels like we're back at square one, or more accurately, square 17. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Did you dislike it as much as I did, or did you find merits to it that I just could not see past? Antifreeze formula, and now the teacher gets and that's a part that bothers me even more. It's bad enough that these teenagers are just ignoring lab safety rules and getting themselves frozen. But also, how is it that a teacher is making these amateur mistakes? Also, as a whole, it doesn't make sense. If this formula is supposed to be used to unfreeze a person, how is it refreezing someone who isn't frozen? There's no way it's a reverse Uno situation. It's like, if this formula ends up freezing you, then how would it unfreeze the other person? That's another thing that I have to poke a hole through. Spanner gets roasted again, as he should be. Grayon's after Kenichi's AI to create a Dread Trooper. I don't want to look at that comment because I hate having to acknowledge that now we have to use the term Dread Trooper. Okay. Feel the power of the level 0 Kemi. Also, they don't really talk about the fact that it's level 0. I want it to be she finally likes Mr. A rank alchemist. Full metal alchemist. Full metal alchemist. I hope we see more of Kamedon. Yeah, see, Kamedon, it just ejects a boost buckle, and it just disappears, and they're like, oh, hopefully we'll see it again. Gee, I really hope we do. Otherwise, what would even be the point of introducing a 100-second Kemi? Let's see. The Dread Army's coming. Next episode, Kajiki remembers everything. Will he and Hijiri break up? I don't know, but I wonder if there's going to be some kind of Johnny Mnemonic type of thing going on because of all the erased memories. For those of you who don't know, Johnny Mnemonic is I think it's 1995 film with Keanu Reeves. And basically in order to smuggle encrypted information, people have these implants on their heads where you could store data in your brain and then just export it like an organic flash drive. Johnny's head has 8 gigabytes of memory, and then but then 16 gigabytes of memory stored into it. So now he's like basically slowly dying. All right. At least Wasabi Mars tablet didn't get destroyed. Yeah, but the problem is he's going to continue to rely on it. I wonder what he whispered to mommy. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I want to know too, but I feel like they're not going to go through with like telling it. Did you see the gab forms? Yes, I did. There's a potato chip, a marshmallow, a chocolate, and we will discuss it when the press release comes out. So, yeah, honestly, I'm just so done with Gotchard that like I don't know how good or bad Gov is. I'm just like ready to just like get a refresher from Gov. Okay, we're done here. We're done here. If you enjoyed, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon to stay notified for our latest videos. And share our videos in order to help us out the algorithm. Ding the bell icon to know about our latest videos. Yeah, we're doing Gotchard on Friday this week because on Wednesday we had technical issues, so we had to move it. So here we are. But our schedule is typically Ultraman Arc. Yeah, I said Ultraman Arc on Monday. Kamen Rider Gotchard on Wednesdays, Bakuage Sentai Boom Boom Draw on Thursdays, and Kamen Rider Fives on Sundays. Also, check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we do movie reviews. We've done Crow films, Shrek films, Naked Gun films. This past week, we did Pump Up the Volume from the year 1990. And this upcoming week, we will be doing A Family Torn Apart, starring John Galacki and Neil Patrick Harris. Yeah, so that's the main character from, well, not tech, more or less, the secondary protagonist of How I Met Your Mother and Big Bang Theory. Two shows I personally care nothing about. But, yeah, like, they were actually pretty good in this movie, so I can't wait to discuss that. And of course, check out our vlog of Robo Toy Fest. And if you want to meet us in person, we will be at Power Morphicon 2024 in Pasadena Convention Center, August 23rd to the 25th. Get your tickets now because we're getting really close to the deadline on getting those tickets. There's going to be so many fantastic actors that are going to be there. There's going to be Jungle Fury cast, Operation Overdrive cast, RPM cast, Cosmic Fury, Mystic Force, so many. Like I think this is gonna have the most Disney actors we've ever had ever. And I'm gonna be honest, in retrospect, the Disney era is probably my favorite era. Not a fan of Disney, but yeah, Disney era of Power Rangers was probably the best era all around. And if you want to check out my personal content, you could find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. With all that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay hydrated, out there, your emergency kits, hug your loved ones, and make sure you have a safe summer. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.